Friends and foes. Hopefully, the only foes we have are from Queens because fuck the Knights. We're back for the 19th edition of Being Drunk on a Pond. There's no pond here. We're just sweating. If Tom Brenneman, whatever his name is, the guy who said some fucked up shit as a Reds announcer, if he can get a second chance, the Bond should be in the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. He just got his job back, except it's not as the Reds announcer. He is now officially going to be broadcasting college games on the CW for football. So, yeah, there's no deep drive to left. Just saying. As the Delaware River swallows Graffiti Peter, the Phils are getting bukkakied by the competition. So, half of Philly is swallowing. The other half, well, it's not pretty. 3-7 in the last 10. Lost 4 in a row. Just got raw dogged by the Yanks. I'm sure we came down with something. We need to visit a clinic or get some sort of good juju or some antibiotics back in our system because shit, it's been a rough go. Just saying. The trade deadline came and went as fast as the White Sox were eliminated from the playoffs on day 2. Yeah, last game won by the White Sox. Joe Biden was still in the presidential race. We're talking 20 days ago.
Is that bad?
It ain't good. It ain't good. Uh, fuck, man. They suck.
It's bad, man.
The
It is
White Sox are
bad.
disgusting. And they didn't get rid of the number one trade piece they could have. So let's just talk about that in a little bit. So, with 5 games on the slate today, only 3.5 teams really matter. It's a slow day. Let's talk about some baseball, but first, be sure to like, follow, subscribe to all our socials, comment, give us some hate, give us a lot of love. Because honestly, you're not going to outroll us. You can try. You can try. If you're a Mets fan, we know your IQ is the temperature in January. So, we're good. But most importantly, hey Jay, you know what we need to do?
What's that?
Stay drunk.
Another screwdriver for the boys.
Oh, I'm teeing off tonight, man. I tee off every
Oh,
Thursday, but come on, man. I'm teeing off tonight. I'm feeling a
are you
little
feeling that?
hostile.
You feeling a little saucy tonight, my man?
Feel a little hostile, man. I mean, with the way the Phils are playing and the way the city's just legit falling apart, like I'm kind of fucking, kind of hyped. I'm trying to bring back some good vibes with some Nikki Cass. Much hamburger meat all hanging out.
Hey, I respect it, man.
I'm going Nikki
They're
2 buttons, dude.
the vibes right now. I don't know what's going on in that dugout in the clubhouse, but oh my God. I cannot, I'm sitting here still in disbelief that Bryce Harper did not have a single hit in the entire Yankees series.
He's one
Like,
for 30.
they are, in the wise words of Mr. Vanilla Ice himself, they are ice, ice, baby. My God, they are stone cold Steve Austin right now. I cannot believe the Yankees walked into Philadelphia and swept us. Not only swept us, but Jazz Chisholm walks into Citizens Bank, puts his nuts right on the Phillies' forehead, and the Phillies are just like, what are we supposed to do? And it's like, God damn it. Someone show some goddamn energy on this team, please. Like, what the hell are we doing right
It's
now?
sad to say, but the only person who showed any energy was in the last two games, and that was Austin Hayes.
Like, oh man, like what a brutal series, dude. Absolutely brutal.
It was hard to watch. I mean, getting absolutely mollywopped at 14-4. Not great.
Oh,
I turned it off.
yeah,
I turned
I
it
did.
off. It, I don't want to hear shit from anybody who says, "Oh, you're not real fans." No, dude, I just got priorities. Like House of the Dragon, I had to catch up on with a girl. We had other stuff to do, and I'm helping with a first birthday party prep. Come on, I have a life. My life doesn't revolve around the Phillies. My life doesn't revolve around watching them take it up the ass.
Suck. Yeah.
They, I'm pretty sure after that series they said thank you. That's how bad it was.
Like for the first time, and God, I can't even remember. I am not looking for like I'm not even going to be able to watch the Mariners games unless I stay up late because it's a West Coast trip.
Yeah, you're an
But
old
like
man.
I don't even care to watch it at this point because it's like are we just tuning in at this point to just watch them suck? I mean, God damn,
Listen,
man.
I'm not going to go that
It's,
far to say that they suck because that's just disrespectful. I'm going to
they suck
say
right now. Right now, they suck.
absolutely they do, but I'm not going to say as a team they suck. Right now, they are doing what should have happened in their April. And you have a dog that is absolutely on Adderall.
Dude, he is non-stop moving. Hey, come here. Come here. Up, up. Come on, up, up. I don't know if you can see my beautiful baby boy right here. He is a sweet little angel.
Hank
He's
is
a
the
good
goat.
boy. Hank's like the unofficial mascot of Drunks on the Pond.
Yeah, that and a bunch of crushed beer cans.
Yeah. Crushed beer cans and empty tequila bottles.
Cool by me. So, this game that we love always has an interruption. This is much like a squirrel running on the field. Let's delay it just for a few seconds and just enjoy everything that happens. So, as I said, like I'm not going to say this team sucks because this is what we expected in April. This is the Phillies start every year. They are a notoriously bad start team.
Yeah.
They came out of the gates hot. Schedule had a lot to do with it, but they played good baseball regardless. Played great baseball. I don't want to hear that the schedule was the main reason that they did anything to get where they are now. That's not the only reason. They are a great baseball team. They have all the pieces. Right now, they're dealing with injuries. They are piling up. The big thing right now is it feels like they need an energy boost. And
Yeah.
I guess this is going to lead us right into our first big topic. What happened the other day? The trade deadline. Do you feel that we did enough?
Uh, I think so. I mean,
I mean, what more could we have done?
the only thing that I really think you could have done, and it's something that, I've been against for weeks on end. Like, I've been saying not to do it. But I see a lot of people in the Philly media talking about, you need to go get Luis Robert Jr. You need to go get Luis Robert. He can play center field. I have been on Twitter for the past goddamn 2 weeks yelling at people, stop calling for Luis Robert. The dude has a terrible injury history. He had one outlier year, and you're ready to sell the fucking farm for this dude who, if he's giving shit in Chicago, who's to say he's not going to come to Philly and completely ruin the vibes? And then what? We have a team with no vibes. What if Robert comes over, first 2 games, gets hurt, and he's out for the year? Then what are we doing?
I mean,
Because
I
now
totally
you just
agree.
traded Justin Crawford. Like, come on, man.
Look at it this way. If the Phillies were to acquire Robert, the only reason that it would make sense is because of guaranteed control. But the biggest issue with guaranteed control is you're also getting someone who might play out of, I think he has like 3 more years in his deal. You might get someone who plays 150 to 200 games out of the next 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's Mike Trout syndrome right there. Do you want someone who has all of the talent except the bones and body of Robin Williams Jack? Like, honestly, like, don't get me wrong. Both of them have generational talent. Obviously, Trout is the generational talent.
Yes.
Robert has the talent. He's just not been able to piece it together for a stretch where he's won several MVPs and been considered a potentially top 3 player all time. He has the talent, absolutely does. But you're looking at a guy who hasn't played more than 100 games besides last year, and yet he was still hurt last year as well. So
Yeah.
I love the moves that we made. What little we did, I love what we did. In my opinion, it was a lot of addition by subtraction.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, like you got rid of probably one of your worst relievers in Gregory Soto. Sir
But that's
Anthony
the thing.
Dominguez.
Neither of them have had a bad season. They're considered
No,
good relievers.
they are good relievers, but compared to the ones we have, when they're on, there is absolutely no one better.
No,
Like
agreed.
when we talk about this Phillies team going through a rough patch, it is not just the offense. Like
No.
it is the offense, it's the pitching, it's the bullpen. Everybody is off right now. That is why it is so bad.
Someone
But-
put the Moloiks on the team on South Philly. Come on, man.
But when this team is on, offense aside, when the pitching is on, there is not a single team that is on the level the Phillies can get on. Like, we've seen what this team can do when it is a high functioning team. Like, there's a reason why they have the
Agreed.
record they do. Like, this is not a bad team. It's just, it's a very rough patch. That's just all it is.
Hey, let it happen now. Don't let it happen in September.
I'm fine with it.
I mean, the last thing you need to do is walk into the playoffs with your fucking head held down.
Yeah.
I mean, like, cool. If you sweep the last series in September, cool. But what happens if you won 7 other games the whole month? September is when they play the most games. Do you want to see them go 10-19? 10-17?
Absolutely not.
No. But just because you swept the last series doesn't mean you're going in with your head held high. Right now, the Phillies, their head should be hanging low. They should be disappointed in what they're doing, how they're playing. It's kind of a kind of surprise, but also expected. Every single team needs to have a bad stretch. Fuck, last week,
Yeah.
weren't we just talking about how bad the Yankees were?
Yeah, like episode 17, we talked
So,
about the
2
Bronx
weeks ago.
Bumps. Yeah.
Yep. 2 weeks ago, the Yankees lost what? 17 of 23?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely. I have it in my notes because I keep notes on paper. God, I'm stupid. 17 of the last 23, and that was 2 weeks ago. Episode 16. 3 weeks ago, I'm sorry. Well, I'm 19. I will forever get what number we're on wrong. because I am unjustly accused by Jay of being wrong. But it's fine because I love him and we're going to keep it status quo. It's cool, right?
It's cool.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to check.
No, that is perfectly cool, my man.
So,
No worries here.
I mean, do I think with a potential World Series matchup of the Phillies and the Orioles, do I think the Orioles are better because of the two trades that we did with them? No, no, because as of today, they had five former Phillies on the team. Now it's four. Christian Pache just got DFA'd. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, listen, you can be a near elite defender, but if you can't hit the ball,
Yeah,
you're
it's
not
trouble.
staying in the majors. The Phillies sent down Johan Rojas earlier this year, but were forced to bring him back up due to injuries. So, the Orioles now have Gregory Soto, former lefty dynamite arm, Sir Anthony Dominguez, and we also traded Christian Pache. But they also have Craig Kimbrell in their bullpen, and there's one other guy from the Phillies that they have still.
I know who it is. No,
Please do
wait, it's
tell.
not him. Fuck, no. I'm sorry. No, he's not on that team right now. He was on the team last year. He's not on the team this year.
Who?
Kyle Gibson.
Oh,
Gibson went to
no,
the Cardinals.
he's in the Cardinals now. Yeah. The Orioles have one more guy that was on our team. It's no big deal. I don't care. So we got in return from the Orioles, Austin Hayes. That's really the only noteworthy trade that we got from the Orioles. The other one was for a very young and green uh, right-handed pitcher.
It's Zach Eflin. That's who you're looking
Zach
for.
Eflin, yes. He just got traded to them via the Rays. Thank you. I knew there was one more. Zach Eflin is the only one that may haunt us because he did not leave this team with a bad juju.
No, not at all.
Kimbrel left with bad juju.
That fucking scumbag. Fuck Fred Kimbrell. Fuck, I hate him. I hate him so much. Don't do the bird thing. Don't do the bird.
So
It's so
anyway,
bad.
the other big acquisition the Phillies got was Charlie Sheen. Carlos Estevez.
You had me worried for a second because I was like,
honestly, you do know that's Charlie Sheen's birth name, right?
yes, and it took me a minute. Once you said,
Emilio! Emilio!
Hey! I was like, Emilio! So, anyways.
and I was all like, Emilio, who's standing there? The mighty Duck Man
The
himself.
mighty Duck Man.
And I'm just like, Emilio!
I was like, Emilio! Emilio! Emilio!
The club is closed, folks. Sorry.
Dude, that is one of the greatest scenes in a movie of all time, man.
What makes it even better is your brother and I were doing that at work for at least 20 minutes the other day.
But does my brother know where it's from, or does my brother just think it's
Yes,
funny?
he does. He does. He knows A Night at the Roxbury.
Let's say, because Night at the Roxbury is a gem of a movie.
It's a classic. It's a classic SNL movie.
Great
That's
movie.
just... It's top
Fucking
to
love
bottom.
Will Ferrell.
You have to be in the mood to watch it. See, I don't love Will Ferrell. Listen,
Ooh.
my girlfriend has changed my perspective tremendously on him. I love Talladega Nights. That is my favorite Will Ferrell movie. But I can't tolerate him as his characters anymore because they're just
Like,
like when he puts all the effort into being another person instead of just being himself funny in a
so
role.
kind of like Elf.
Can't stand it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Elf either.
Can't stand it. One of, if not the worst Christmas movie of all time.
I don't know, man. I don't know. As long as Hallmark pushes out Christmas movies,
They're not real.
I think Elf is pretty safe in terms of Christmas movies.
They're not real, but they still have my favorite all-time crush as a kid, Melissa Joan Hart, starring in movies. So potentially there is some potential for me to enjoy them, but not really. I'm never going to watch Hallmark anything. I don't even buy their cards.
They do have some good cards. I will give them that. They're pretty good.
I'm just saying, Longfellow
Shout out
Deeds.
Hallmark for the birthday cards.
Longfellow Deeds did the best greeting cards of all time. Just saying.
Oh man, Mr. Deeds is another great movie. All right,
Absolutely.
we are straying so far from baseball. we gotta get on track here.
All right. So, a little bit of flair happens. Flaherty went to the Dodgers.
Yep.
Solid pickup. Good for them. They didn't give up much. They gave a few prospects. Is what it is. Bang, bang, boom. Tanner Scott to the Daddies. They already have an elite bullpen,
Yeah.
headed by Robert Suarez, who the only team that's touched him all year is us. I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's been anything else that has like really fucked with his juju whatsoever. I think he's been absolutely elite all season. Alex Cobb went to the Guardians from the Giants. Solid move. Depth. Guardians are another elite team that put a sock in our mouth and told us not to scream. The Mariners got a Rizarena. That was the first. That was the catalyst of all the moves for the deadline.
That was a great trade by them.
It was a very good trade. But also, it went to show that the Phillies shouldn't have acquired him because of what the Mariners gave up. They gave up a couple of really good prospects, but that is absolute, true to its form, type A Tampa fashion of a trade. You trade away someone
Absolutely.
who eventually will have a very good payday, and you get back elite prospects.
The thing I like about it the most is that, I mean, as far as I know, the Phillies weren't that in on a Rosarena, but it did kind of set the table for, okay, if this is what Tampa Bay got for Randy and this is what Seattle had to give up, what would the Phillies have to give up to get Luis Robert if that was the case?
Sure.
Obviously, you're talking about giving up Justin Crawford, who, I'll say it again,
In your
do not
opinion,
wanna give
has the best upside of any prospect in our top talent pool besides Kaba.
Have you seen his minor league stats in Double A?
I don't think I looked it up since the last time you mentioned it.
Let me
Go
find
ahead.
it.
Let me just
But
say.
my God.
Go ahead. Do you have it? Guts.
Boy, God. Do you have it? In Reading. So he just got taken up to Reading. In 9 games, he is 13 for 37. No home runs, 4 RBIs. He's hitting .351. His on-base percentage is .415. He's slugging .460. And his on-base plus slugging is .874.
So we're throwing
That's
a couple extra base hits into that. We're throwing some walks. He's getting on base.
Why do you like him?
Because he gets on base.
What does he do?
Gets on base. Like, I cannot stress it enough. I am fine with Johan Rojas being a stopgap until Crawford is ready. Because if Crawford continues this climb,
Well, hang on. Don't forget. Marsh has started quite a few games lately in center.
He has. Which I kind of wonder, what's the real plan with Hayes here? Like, do they really see him as
the everyday
be-all,
guy?
end-all for left field? Like,
I mean, shit. We all know the talent this guy has. We do. And if you don't, look it up. Because then you'll know. Because I'm not going to do it for you. Come on. I'm not lazy. It's easy for you to Google something. You have a phone in your pocket. Jay's going to look it up for you, though, because he's nosy.
I am.
But the big thing with Hayes is he is a lefty killer. The dude does everything that our entire outfield has struggled to do this year against lefties.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
I mean, like, minus Castellanos, which for some reason he's hitting 250 now.
I don't know how he dug himself out of that fucking hole.
But also, wait, hang on. While we're on the subject of Hayes being an elite lefty hitter, let's just talk about the next best elite lefty hitter on our team. Do you know who that is?
Brandon Marsh.
No, Brandon Marsh doesn't get a bat against lefties.
Shit. Schwarber.
It is Kyle Schwarber. He's hitting almost 330 against lefties.
I had a feeling it was, too.
Next time I see you, I'll give you a fruit snack.
Dude, I love fruit snacks.
I'll give you one of the white shark bites.
I don't know, man. You gotta get
Dude,
the Welch's.
No.
Welch, yes. Come on. Welch's.
You just denied a white shark bite, and you expect us to go on being friends.
I'm telling you right now, it's Welch's or the Haribo gummy bears. Those things, son. Oh my god.
Listen. I fucks with some gummy bears. Haribo? Yes. Any other gummy bears?
They're not that good. It's got to be Haribo.
In the words of Lil Dicky, men's leg hair. They don't cut it. Dude, 100%, man. 100%. Haribo gummy bears are the best. No one else has come close. But,
no.
Let's just say, we have a guy that the majority of our city has hated being our leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
For 2.5 seasons.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because it wasn't really until, honestly, probably right around now, in 2022, when Schwarber became the everyday leadoff guy. It was probably right around now, because it was right after the trade deadline, and it was like, yeah, he gets on base. Plus, it's pretty sweet to be up 1-0 after the first batter twice a week.
That is true.
Pretty sweet. Little do people know, as a leadoff hole, he's getting on base the most this entire season. Throughout the entire league. The entire MLB. Kyle Schwarber has gotten on base the most times. I cannot put a stamp of approval on it more, because I don't think there's a stamp big enough for me to slam down on paper so that you can feel the hostility that I have of stop saying he's not a leadoff hitter. What you people think is a leadoff hitter almost doesn't exist in baseball anymore. You want a leadoff hitter? like the yesteryear, like Juan Pierre or Kenny Lofton, guess what? Now you have Ellie De La Cruz, who's not hitting leadoff. O'Neal Cruz, no relation, not hitting leadoff. These are fast guys with power, pop, whatever you want to say, who hit the ball in the gaps and steal bases. There's no such thing as a leadoff hitter anymore, or a prototypical leadoff hitter. You need someone who gets on base. And guess what Kyle Schwarber does?
Guys, check your reports or I'm gonna point at Pete. He gets on base. He can get on base.
He gets on base.
I'm not going to disagree with you. Like the dude,
You can't.
if the dude's getting on base, then he needs to be in the top spot. The problem is that when the rest of your team is ice fucking cold and can't do anything behind them, that's trouble. But when the team's hot and Schwarber's getting on, you're getting runs. Like, that's how baseball works. You're driving in runs. Don't you want someone to be on base that you can drive in to score runs? Oh, wow. It's like you want someone that gets on the base. Ah, yeah. The wheels start turning a little bit when you really fucking think about it.
That's baseball. In order to score runs, you need to have people who can score runs on base. Oh.
Can I tell you, though, to change the topic, can I tell you who my biggest loser is? My two biggest losers are after the deadline?
Oh, please do.
This should come as absolutely no surprise at all. Number one, the Chicago White Sox.
Oh, that's not a real team. That's not a real place. That's Narnia.
And if I have to sit here and explain why they lost the deadline, then I'm not going to do it. You should all. We talk so much shit about the White Sox at this point that you should automatically know why they lost.
Well, the Dodgers did acquire Kopech, but that was in a 3-team deal.
Yeah.
So
and the White Sox should have got something more.
They got rid of their very good closer. Well, I don't want to say very good closer. I want to say very good arm in their bullpen. It's just he's not put it together as a complete piece yet. They did not get rid of their ace for more than one reason. It's not because they wanted to keep him as an ace. I think it's because no one was fighting on that bait that they dangled out.
No one was going to bite on it.
Well, did you hear what Crochet said?
I didn't hear what Crochet said, but I heard what a lot of the Chicago reporters were saying about what they were asking for.
Oh, I'm sure it was, the world plus some marbles plus a little bit of change, and then maybe you can also throw in an extra dryer to soak up all the towels of our fans' sweat and tears. But
the only team that would have traded with them and made a deal for fucking Garrett Crochet or Luis Robert is the number 2 team on my list of losers. One of two, the White Sox and the Los Angeles Angels.
Oh, yeah.
My God. Oh, my God. First off, congratulations on getting 2 of the Phillies' better pitching prospects. They weren't ranked, but if any Philly fans paid attention, George Klassen was a very good pitcher.
Potential
and
fun.
Sam, I don't want to say his name wrong, Sam Aldoghiri, another stud pitcher. But they fucked up on the 2 players you should have gotten rid of, and you didn't. Taylor Ward has been on an absolute tear this year.
Yes.
Taylor Ward is pretty much the prototype of what you want in a fantasy baseball player. He hits home runs, he drives in runs, he steals bases, he gets on base. Taylor Ward is that guy that you want.
Taylor Ward is playing to get out.
He is playing to get out. The problem is that the Angels are ran by. Here we go again. I gotta sit here and explain how. I gotta explain how to do it again.
Hey! Take a sip.
I'm cashed out.
Ah!
All right, hold on. I'm calm. But Taylor Ward was
I'll do it
right
for you.
there. You could have gone out and gotten some prospects for Taylor Ward.
Easily.
You are losing this season. The season is pretty much over for you. You're not making playoffs. Mike Trout's out for the year. You still can't figure out what you're doing. So you kept Taylor Ward when you could have flipped him for prospects and helped the farm system a little bit. You didn't do that. Luis Rengifo, if you don't know him, let me give you a quick rundown of him. He's hitting over 300. Yep. 6 home runs, 85 hits, and 281 at-bats. He scored 41 runs. Solid. He's got 30 RBIs and 24 stolen bases. The guy's having quite the year.
Incredible.
This is the type of year where you look at him and you go, huh.
Why don't
he's actually solid. Like, and trust me, Luis is still young. He's 27. But this isn't a window for you to compete right now. So why not dangle him out there and be like, hey, Rengifo's available. What do you want to offer? You know, you listen in on these offers and you make the best deal possible to help your team along. You fucked up in signing Mike Trout to this forever angel deal for $300 million
plus.
And now Mike Trout is never going to be the same because he's had 3 season-ending injuries in the past 7 years. I mean, we're looking
5 years.
I think the funniest thing is that once the news came out, someone talked to the Angels general manager, and the Angels general manager comes out and is like, Mike Trout's going to come out and hit 70 home runs next year because that's the type of guy he is. So you're telling me Mike Trout's going to hit 70 home runs in about 81 games since he only plays half a season anymore? Give me a fucking break, dude.
That's to infinity and beyond. Like, that's not going to happen.
Dude, like, watching the Angels' incompetence, it shouldn't piss me off because I'm not a fan of the Angels, but I genuinely feel bad for the fans that have to deal with this dude's just lack of accountability and awareness of what's going on around him. Like, you have 2 guys you could have easily flipped to a contender for some great pitching prospects, which you continue to lack. You had a draft, 7 years ago?
God, again?
I'm bringing it up. You had a draft 7 probably years ago, a little less, a little more. You took every pitcher you could. The first best pitcher that was available, you pulled him off the board. You know how many of those pitchers are sitting on your top prospect list? 0. Not a single one.
Ooh,
I mean, come on, dude. Like, what are you guys doing, man? It doesn't make sense.
You're looking at a team where their direction for the past couple years has been to run out the clock. And I feel like that's what it is. You had Shohei. You didn't trade him and get anything back for him. He walked for nothing. The only thing he meant to your club was what happened in the past. You have nothing to show for the future from him. That might have been one of the dumbest mistakes any GM's ever made, was not trading him last year at the deadline. Listen, this isn't medieval times where, you trade a cow or 2 plus some sheep. You get a hot wife who's, forgive me for saying this, underage, and she's going to live 15 years longer than you. And you get crops, you get cattle, and you get food and sustenance. This isn't them. This is the time where you need something in return immediately. Baseball, it's an ugly game. It's an ugly, ugly game for players. And I'm not talking about on the field. I'm talking about broken hearts, broken dreams, and basically to the point where you could be considered the next Mike Trout for 2 years in the minors. One torn meniscus, your career is derailed. You've been drafted in the first round as a number one overall pick. How many guaranteed innings do you have in the majors? 0. How many guaranteed innings do you have playing at top capacity, top dollar? 0. And you got nothing in return for getting rid of a guy, or I'm sorry, letting a guy walk who is quite possibly the biggest draw baseball's ever had. Their front office is absolute shambles. Like, I don't understand how you're dealing with zero pitching. Zero pitching since John Lackey and Jared Weaver. Tyler Skaggs might have had a very good career. Rip. But also, fuck you, Matt Harvey. Another former Met. Yeah, if you don't know about that, just look up Matt Harvey, Tyler Skaggs. Just put them two in a Google search in that bar. You'll know. Matt Harvey's a douche canoe.
It's a pretty rough read.
Yeah. So, like, honestly, I don't understand how. Who is it? Dipoto?
Yeah.
Gary Dipoto, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, but like, how does he have a job still? Like, what could he possibly have on their owner that is giving them anything of substance to keep him? He has done nothing good for the organization except spent a fuck ton of money. Because let's face it, we haven't even mentioned Anthony Rendon yet.
No.
I mean, listen, I don't know what I'd rather have. Like, from a baseball fan's perspective, would I rather have Shohei walk and nothing come back to my team whatsoever? Or would I rather still be stuck with Anthony Rendon's absolutely stagnant career, injury plagued, like absolutely plagued career as soon as he fleeced us? I don't know. I don't know what's worse. And then obviously Trout's declining health and his. I wish that it wasn't what it was. Issues. Like, it's so bad for the sport that he just can't stay healthy. But also, I wish him speedy recoveries all the time because I love Mike Trout. But you chose to stay there, bro.
No.
Your allegiance, your loyalty, I will never, ever, ever question. It is glorious.
So
why?
the one
why?
thing I want to do is backtrack real quick. I did say the Angels had no pitchers in their farm system. I am sorry, I am wrong. They have
Who is it?
their top prospect is a pitcher of the name of Caden Dana, which is a crazy name. Their third prospect, get ready for this. Their third prospect is George Klassen that they got from the Phillies.
He's not even in their top 20.
Sam Aldo-Gary is number 8 for them.
He wasn't even in our top 25.
We gave them two top 10 pitchers for them. So honestly, for what we got in return and what we gave up,
that might have been a fleece. That might have been a fleece.
You could call it a fleece. I still think George Klassen's got all the tools to make it in the majors. But for what we got in Estevez, I'm not too sad about it. I mean, if those two jump to almost both being in the top 5, well, Klassen being 3, Sam being at 7, like, that tells you how depleted that farm system. For a team that's been bad for as long as it has, those two shouldn't even crack. Klassen might have cracked a 10, but Sam probably would have sat outside the 15. How do you not have more top prospects when you've been bad for so long?
They are just absolutely abysmal at drafting. They really are.
Like, that is insane, man. I don't know. Like, but to put a little light on the other LA team, Rich, I got to be honest with you here, bud. I think we're seeing the end of the Clayton Kershaw era in Dodger blue.
I'm sad for a guy who is also dealing with Mike Trout syndrome. Could have been one of the best of all time at his position on his solo franchise team, and just can't stay healthy anymore.
I will give Kershaw the benefit of the doubt. The dude is going to go down as probably a top 15, top 20 pitcher of all time. Like, the dude is unreal.
If he's not considered top 20, it's an absolute bullshit travesty.
I agree.
Fully agree. I think he is elite. He is absolutely elite.
I was genuinely shocked back in February when the Dodgers signed him to a 2-year, $10 million deal because, I'll be honest with you, I thought after the contract before that, I thought he was done. Like, I thought he was going home. I thought he was going to Texas. Like, he was getting torched, like, towards the back end of the season. They made the playoffs. He was giving up runs. Like, he did not look
giving up
good.
Runs? Dude. Come on, what happened with the Diamondbacks? Giving up runs is putting it politely. What happened? You know what? I'll look it up while you keep talking. Go ahead.
I know what happened. They dropped an 8 spot on them. The Diamondbacks.
How many innings?
That was the first inning.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks completely shit on Clayton Kershaw, and I thought that was the end of it. But the Dodgers said, here's $10 million, come back for 2 years. And almost immediately, Clayton Kershaw hit the IL. He came back probably about a couple weeks ago now, but he hasn't looked like the Kershaw of old, which, I mean, what can you expect? The guy is 36. This contract is taking him to pretty much his 38th birthday. I don't see him playing next year. I'm sorry, I don't. When you look at the Dodgers rotation with how many young studs they have, are you really going to look at one?
No, don't forget, before you go to how many young studs they have, don't forget about the elite potential Hall of Fame rotation they have on the IL without Clayton.
I mean, that's fair. All right, so you look at all the pitchers they have right now, the elite, the great prospects they have, you're going to sit here and look at one of these guys and go, hey, sorry, there's not a spot for you. We got to save one for Clayton Kershaw. That kid's going to be like the old dude that's going to get shelled for 6 runs in the first inning. Are you kidding me? I'm losing my spot to that.
He made his first ever career regular season start. Yesterday? Was it yesterday?
Yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah, within the past couple of days, he made his first ever regular season start where he did not have a single strikeout. I mean, we've seen in the playoffs because his playoff numbers are kind of garbage fire, dude. They are hot dog water. He's 13-13 in the playoffs with an ERA of 4.49, 213 strikeouts. That's how many innings he's pitched in the playoffs. 39 appearances. That's a full season and a half for most people. That's how many times they've been in the playoffs, and he has been less than mid.
Like, this is going to sound nuts. Clayton Kershaw's injury history is actually insane. He's had 5 back injuries. 5. Starting in 2016, mind you.
Because for a long time, he carried their entire pitching staff on his back. That's heavy.
He did. He's had 3 arm injuries from 2021 until 2022. It's a lot of arm injuries. And then his past 2 injuries.
3 within 2 seasons?
3 within 2 seasons. His first arm injury was July 7th. That took him to September 13th. He was out. Then October 2nd of the same year.
In the playoffs.
I'm assuming it was a little arm discomfort because he only missed a day. And then in May 14th of 2022, he was out until June 11th with another arm injury. But these past 2 injuries, from July 3rd of 2023 to August 10th, it was a shoulder. And then from March 28th of this year to July 25th, it was a shoulder again. So it's like, dude, how much more could you possibly have in the tank when your past few injuries all have had to do with your arm? It is perfectly fine to just go, you know what, dude? My body is at its peak. The guy's got over 200 wins. He's 50 strikeouts from the 3,000 club. The guy is almost a bona fide guarantee Hall of Famer. There is nothing wrong with knowing that it's over, dude. It's done. Like I said, you had a great year. What else do you want? Besides another ring, obviously.
Sure, because you deserve more than one. And that one that you got was also in a very special season.
It's a very cheap year.
It's the Mickey Mouse ring. Listen,
That's
dude,
pretty
you
much
are also...
what it is.
He's been an MVP. He's been a 3-time Cy Young winner. He's been a Triple Crown winner. A 10-time All-Star. He won the 2020 World Series. He has 1 Gold Glove. 5-time. 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 5-time.
5 times. Yeah, that's right. 5-time W.
5-time? ERA title. What more do you need to be in the playoff or in the Hall of Fame, dude? Listen, I know they signed you again. You were the 7th overall pick in 2006. We're almost talking 20 years since you were drafted. I have a very bold prediction.
Okay.
Very bold prediction. He pitches less innings than his age this year.
He's at 7-2. I agree wholeheartedly. There's no way he's going to get to what I say he was, 34.
He is currently 36.
36. Yeah, there's no way he's getting a 36 innings. No shot.
Listen, he has a glass arm, a glass bat. I also didn't know that he has several nicknames.
He's
The
got
Claw?
nicknames? The Claw. Never heard of that one.
I don't like it.
No.
I think it's weird. Kid K.
I
There's
mean,
only
that is
one.
pretty cool. That was a
There's only
pretty cool
one-
nickname.
No, it's not. There's only one Kid anything, in my opinion, and it's not Kid
The
Rock.
kid.
It's not Billy.
Yeah, great song.
The Minotaur. Minotaur! Yeah! Or Kirsch.
Kirsch, dude, that's the obvious one there. I mean, Christ, come
Kirsch?
on.
Listen, I don't want this to sound bad whatsoever. Kirsch sounds like a Jewish deli.
Thank you for calling Kirsch's. Would you like to try our new salon?
We have a new pastrami sandwich this week. It does not have sour cream. Thank you for calling Kirsch's. Like, I think it's hilarious that this guy made his debut in 2008 at 20 years old.
Prodigy.
He's 36 now. Who else is in that discussion at this point? You have Verlander and Scherzer. And Dick Mountain.
Oh, Rich Hill? Is Rich Hill still... There's no way he's pitching this year. There is not a chance.
I don't think he's retired.
Him and Greinke might be like hanging out, being like...
Rich Hill and Greinke are not... They're just not on teams.
Those two are sitting on a boat right now going, I bet I get signed before you do. They're like, no way. No way. I'm getting signed. Can we just get them both together and just be like, so, who do you think's going to call you? And they're like, dude, I'm definitely going to call soon. Like, there's no doubt those two have been texting back and forth about it.
100%. They are sitting somewhere. Tink. Their glasses together and be like, do you remember when we had to work? It's a shame no one's called us because, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind working again, but this is kind of nice.
I do kind of feel bad for Zach Greinke, though. I will say that. Like,
oh, yeah. I mean, we're talking about a guy who should have gotten at least the chance to knock out his milestones.
Dude, he is 21 away from 3,000. Are we serious? Are we being for real right now? You're telling me the White Sox of all teams can't look and go, we should help out Greinke. They're like, no, you know what? We're still competing. We may be 50 games under 500 and out of a fucking postseason spot, but we're still in it.
The White Sox, the Rockies, the Marlins, the A's, not one of them called and said, you want $2 million?
Like, dude, I'm genuinely curious.
I can see turning down the A's. I can see turning down the A's because of taxes. Taxes, his $2 million is like $750,000. So he's playing league minimum. Colorado, it's got to be pretty fucking sweet, right?
Dude, I would hate to see Greinke get shelled in Colorado. I'm going to be honest with you. Of all teams, dude, I do not want it to be Colorado.
Yeah, but he would still have 21 strikeouts.
He would. I can sacrifice
the hostility's coming 21. Back. The hostility's coming back. I was chilling out. It was coming back. Smell it. It's coming back now because it's 21 goddamn strikeouts. Zach Greinke is an amazing human. I love that guy.
He went 2-15 last year and still punched 97 tickets. Are you telling me right now to my fucking face that not one of those bottom feeder fucking teams can sign him and get him 21? Are we really going to do this right now? Is Zach Greinke going to sit at 29.79 for the rest of his fucking life? We can't let this happen.
It's so hard. It's so hard. Dude. He could have got that in relief.
He could have. Yeah. What if Zach Greinke shows up at Citizens Bank when the Phillies are down like 7 or 8 runs. It's a throw-in at this point. And Zach Greinke comes out of the bullpen. And Zach Greinke's just like, I'm here to punch tickets. And I'm like, you do that thing, bud. Do the thing. I'd be stoked, man.
We love you, Zach.
Like everything he's done for baseball, being the weird character he is, you're telling me that no one can just give him a 1-year fucking deal so he can punch 3,000 and go home? Like, come on, man.
Even Toronto wanted nothing to do with it.
Fucking dude, Toronto wants nothing to do with their own players.
It's true. I mean, let's face it. Toronto did not deliver at the deadline. But I don't want to talk about the deadline anymore. I don't want to talk about Toronto. Because those mother knuckers. Ugh. Canada, eh? No. What I want to talk about is, did you know that Rich Hill has several nicknames? Besides, well, he has 2 besides Dick Mountain. They are not phallic related. We're not doing another episode based upon fun things dealing with eggplant emojis.
I actually don't know any of Rich Hill's other nicknames. All I know is Dick Mountain.
Bryce. BRICE. And the Field of Genes. GENES. I would love to know the creation of both of those.
Who's given these fucking players nicknames? I mean, what are we doing here?
If your nickname is Dick Mountain, why do you have any other nicknames? No other nickname is worthy.
Like, my God, dude.
So,
That's such a shit nickname.
why would you try to replace Dick Mountain? But, all right, listen. I want to do a nice little callback from last week. I said that I would look this up. The Home Run Derby TV ratings.
Oh, boy.
Listen. Not Gucci. 5.45 million viewers across 2 different channels. That's ESPN and ESPN2. The smallest audience for the event since 2014, which had 5.4 million viewers. But they also didn't have the out-of-home viewing, which is like apps and bars and all that shit. That wasn't tracked until 2020 because for some reason, that's when they decided that people who weren't home needed to be tracked, even though everyone was home in 20, whatever. That makes sense. The Derby also wasn't the most watched program of the night. We were 3 million viewers shy. Of a debate. A Republican debate.
Buddy, I told you. The Derby
8.6 million
sucks.
people. Listen, last year they had 6.11 million people. But that's also a decline from 2 years ago. This year the rules were modified. You know what? I don't even want to talk about it anymore because MLB fucked up one more time. And you know how good they are at that. They don't care about the fans. So, I want to talk to you about someone who does care about the fans, or at least likes to really showboat, so that therefore you think he's there for the fans, but there's a different reality. You're knowledgeable of Jose Siri, correct?
Yeah.
From the Rays?
Yeah, I know Jose Siri.
Did you know that he's the home run pimp king?
I have seen some of his pimps, and they're They're definitely good. I will give him that.
So it's not necessarily about how long it takes him to round the bases. That's not his pimping style.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. He's second in that category. DUI Ozuna is the slowest going around the bases because, let's face it, he's afraid that each ump is an undercover cop getting ready to give him a breathalyzer. So he's slow and cautious. He pimps his home runs the most against pitchers that he thinks are racist. I wish I was making this up. I saw it in a TikTok and I went, before I say this, I should look this up because I feel like this is something that I should not just spread around. It's an actual quote from him.
Dude.
That's fucking awesome.
I want a Jose Siri versus John Rocker at bat. And if Siri goes deep, oh boy. Dude,
Hey,
that would
listen.
be the greatest fucking thing in the world.
That would be the GOAT home run of all time, in my opinion. Because his pimp would literally make John Rocker figure out a way to do something very horrible and unalive himself in the middle of a baseball diamond. Because he'd be like, no, you can't do that. There's a train in New York with people who, not me. Yeah. I'm thinking that he thinks that every little country boy from the Midwest looks at him and goes, and he goes, Ringo,
Like,
He's not a prolific home run hitter. That's what makes it great.
Who was the pitcher? I feel like it was Max Scherzer. Was it Max Scherzer who was talking to himself before he was about to throw the ball? He's like, you dumb mother, like talking to himself, struck the guy out and got himself all hyped up. I feel like Jose Siri's got to be walking to the mound or walking to the plate, see a white boy on the mound, and in his mind, he's like, you cracker ass honky, you dumb son of a bitch. Hits a home run. He's like, that's for me. That's for me.
like all you see is a strong, like, and then also a
like just
Soft
staring the pitcher down. Meanwhile, the pitcher's one of the nicest people in the world. And their answer were like, how'd you feel about Jose Siri doing that? He's like, it was a good pitch. Like he just hit it. That's all there is to it. Meanwhile, they're talking to Jose Siri, and they're like, "Hey, Jose, like, what happened out there?" He's like, "I did it for my people. I did it for the racism." And they're like, "What? Like, what are you talking about?"
And the pitcher goes, "I'm a pitcher. I don't drive cars." What? Huh?
The only pitcher I allow to be taunted at this point is Nestor Cortez.
Absolutely, dude. I want someone to pimp a single off him.
I want so bad for him to do that dorky ass wind up. Someone hit it 450 and then sit at the plate and do the same fucking thing he does. I want it shoved up his ass so goddamn bad it comes spitting out of his mouth. Fucking asshole.
Dude, I was talking to your uncle about it, and he said something that just made me die because he hates him just as much as we do. He goes, dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. Dumbest fucking thing. I wish there was a place where we could send him so that he didn't have to do that ever again. And I was like a camp? And he goes, no. Like single A. We'll never have to see that. I was like, oh, okay. I thought it was gonna be one of those ones where it's like, whoa. Relax. But no, it was more like one of those things where it's like, no, dude, no one needs to see that. It's dumb. It's stupid. You're annoying. You also throw like a less than 30% strike rate when you do that.
Dude.
Stupid.
And I think, like, the one thing that pisses me off the most is, like, when you hear the Yankees, like, commentators, they're like, oh, he's doing a thing. He's doing a thing. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Like, how great is this? No one except for them thinks this is fucking great. Like, everyone is like, Jesus Christ, someone just hit a comebacker to him and just knock him on his ass. Don't hurt him. Maybe he dekes it out of the way, but it puts him on his back. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying knock him in the head and give him fucking brain damage.
Well,
Oh, easy there.
I didn't say anything. That was audio feedback. Listen, he's got a few miles between him and my least favorite team and franchise in sports history. So, unfortunately, it's like an expanding gas around like an area. It's like a mushroom cloud. It affects a certain ratio of an area, and they're not far. They're not far. So, dude, Thursdays suck for baseball.
It is a brutal goddamn day. I will say that.
It's travel
much.
day. You got travel days, and then on top of that, you got the ends of certain series that, for some reason, the schedulers get right that no one cares about. Because, let's face it, who the fuck is playing today? 3.5 teams anybody cares about? You get the Braves and Orioles and Cleveland, but then there's Detroit and Kansas City. That's the half team. Kansas City's the half team. Only baseball fans care about Kansas City. People who are betting and, watching the sport just because they're in a bar don't give a shit. Because, let's face it, Kansas City beat Detroit 7-1 today. Oh, as they should. As they should. You got Miami and Atlanta. That's one of the three. Like I said, Cleveland and Boston, or Baltimore. Cleveland, they went in with no rubber, 10-3 over Baltimore. And then you got the Angels in Colorado. One team is very high up. The other team is just awful. And in a valley. So, yeah. And then St. Louis and Chicago. Cool, you put a rivalry game on a Thursday where no one cares. Dude, baseball needs to do their scheduling a little bit better. I mean, you and I talked about that couple who used to do the scheduling. I wish that was the thing again. But apparently it was money that pushed them out of the way, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. Jay, what else you got, bud? You got anything else?
I got a couple things.
Ooh.
Today in baseball history, this is probably one of the most insane things I've ever read in my entire life, and I love every minute of this.
Oh.
We're going to 1972.
Ooh.
A player by the name of Nate Colbert ties one major league record with 5 home runs and sets another with 13 RBIs as the Padres take a doubleheader from the Braves, 9-0 and 11-7. But here's where it gets interesting. At the age of 8 in 1954, May 2nd, Nate Colbert had been at Sportsman Park in St. Louis to witness Stan Musial's 5 home runs in a doubleheader. He saw Stan do it and said, I'll do it too. 8 and he fucking 18 years later did the same thing. One of the coolest things I've ever read in my life.
Well, unfortunately, one of them had an awesome nickname, Stan the Man. Nate the Great didn't happen.
Let me give you one of my favorite nicknames that I've just found out. We're going with Rocco Baldelli. His nickname, the Wound Socket Rocket. The Wound Socket Rocket has to be the... I don't even know what the hell that comes from. Like, I'm not seeing anything about, like, okay,
Origin?
he was born in Woonsocket. Dude, what a great name for a city. Like, the Woonsocket Rocket.
Socket? Like, like as a wound? Or
like
WOON?
WOON. Socket Rocket.
Where is that town in this country?
Rhode Island. That's great, man. What a great nickname. Shout out Rocco Baldelli, the old Wound Socket Rocket.
My mind immediately went somewhere dirty. Because I've heard as it referred to as an axe wound before. We're talking about the diamond upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that referred to as an axe wound, and I was like, a wound socket? Huh.
No.
Why would someone be called that? And then a rocket? Huh. Like, my mind went 13 different directions all at once, and I went, oh, God, I'm going to get lost trying to get home. What the fuck just happened?
Shout
That
out Woonsocket
fantastic.
and their population of 42,942 as of 2022. Shout out to them.
That's not small.
No, that's
For a
pretty good.
town with that name, that is not small.
That's
I was thinking that was like
that's like a Philly sellout right there.
Sure. I was thinking that was like fucking 18 fucking miles outside of like Jackson, Wyoming and Yellowstone Park. And literally the only thing you have in town is one bar that's made of wood, no concrete, your sidewalk is made of wood, and on top of that, the only other thing in town is a Dollar General that Reese McGuire's not allowed at.
I'll be honest with you. There ain't a lot. There ain't a lot to do except go to city parks. They do have a World War II Veterans Park. That's pretty cool. Sports leagues. Yeah,
I mean, good for them. Fantastic, but nothing uncommon.
Recreation destinations. Oh,
42K.
Yeah, they got
42K, and your town name is Woonsocket.
That's a great city name. I'm going to have to talk to Morgan, see if we can move the family up to Woonsocket. Find a construction company up there.
I won't allow you to go to the second smallest state country because your personality is too big. Sorry.
Be a Woonsocket, be a Woonsocketeer, I guess.
No, I'm going to call the lady immediately and be like, yo, he's having bad thoughts again. Knock it off.
No. No. This ain't one of them bad thoughts, but it's still a bad.
This is a real bad thought.
All right, what do you got for your closing statement?
I mean, we hit it on it earlier, and I didn't realize this was going to be my closing statement because I typically don't prepare those. That's one of those things where I just heat of the moment. And right now, it's been bothering me since we talked about it. Fuck anybody who makes a TikTok video and says, wait for part two. And there's never a goddamn part two. If Jay and I were to ever make part twos on our TikTok videos, or part ones that led into a part two, I can guarantee there will be a part two because we love you and we're not going to leave you hanging. We are not fans of that poster of a kitten saying "hang in there." Nothing should ever do that. You should be gliding through life, making it a little bit easier because that's the way we think it should be. No one should be on a cliffhanger for anything. We understand TV shows do it for season endings, but that should only happen when there's a guarantee for the next season. Stop with the anxiety, guys. Stop. It's not fair. Jay, as soon as you mentioned that, I swear to God, I felt my toes curl. And I went, oh, this agitates me. That was in my head whilst I was talking because I can multitask. I can be angry and still display everything. I'm fucking hostile. God damn it.
All
That's my
right,
final
we need to
thoughts,
get
and-
you. We need to get you a Xanax and another beer. Stat.
No. I don't mix.
I respect it.
Yeah.
On
I'll
that
take some
note,
ibuprofen. I'll take an ibuprofen, though.
all right, we can definitely set you up with a nice ibuprofen.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Thanks.
But to
Guys.
finish it off,
Better things to come from the Phils in the next couple of weeks. I know it. It has to happen. We're too good not to. Jay, you know what to do right now, buddy.
Drunks on the Pond, episode 19. I'm Jay. That's Rich. The boys will see you next week. Z, do me a favor, baby. Hit that music. We're getting the fuck up out of here. Later.